Anyways, welcome guys. Noobs has done it again. Another world record for them. They have started the speed runs in Sunwell because we don't know how long this phase will be until everything gets nerfed. So you have to start already. They did, it looks like, a 4 heal on their horde run, but their fastest run right now is 3 tanks, 6 healers. One of those healers is actually a Dream State Druid, which are doing a lot of healing throughout these raids. And it was a 50 minute and 31 seconds. They're not even going Giga Sweaty yet. Yeah, correct. They're running with 3 hunters also, and a Glaive Rogue that's really doing really well on overall damage. Glaive Rogues are doing very, very well. So this is actually something that I think is a lot stronger than people kind of anticipate. Is you're probably seeing in your raids, if you have a Glaive Rogue, they're probably dumpstering a lot of people on bosses also. So Glaive Rogues are actually really, really pumping really well. But Noobs does it again. If I go to the healing, of course, you can see that their Dream State Druid is doing 1k HPS, because Druid Hots in this raid are just stupid powerful. So we're going to watch it. We're going to watch it at 1.5 speed like we do often nowadays. 1.5 speed, and we're watching the Rogue's POV. Actually, I use Streamlabs OBS, Spider. I'm using slabs. So first they get all buffs up. Speedrun rules did change today slightly. They added 2 protectors that need to be killed instead of 3. It's 5 now. That is just, I don't know, that's what it is. Speedrun rules now. And I doubt that was, yeah, was it not actually 4 healers? There are 2 tanks. People are pulling off 2 tanks already for full clearing. Muru is kind of the sketchiest thing for 2 tanks, but if your paladin is good, you can totally pull it off, especially with some coordination with some hunters. Sorry, coordination with some, yeah, hunters. Looks like they're distracting this, not actually going in with the... You can stealth pull these actual mobs. If you move forward to them, you stealth them, and they don't pull like the whole group, but you have to kill the group anyways. So one-shotting them to start the entire encounter is smart. Oh my god, his frames. Maybe we aren't going to watch this POV. That's just so hectic. We're going to watch the Warlock POV. We're going to watch the Warlock POV. Those frames were insane. Oh my god. So now we've got Warlock POV. This is a lot more chill. You see the slivers in the background, just one, but Noobs consistently usually has the best loot out of most guilds because they'll run like a bajillion raids and every character will get loot, just get kitted up, and then they'll run into their main raids. But again, with this phase ending so quickly, we don't really know how long at all that we have until things get nerfed. Blizzard has not been really good at announcing pretty much anything, really. So currently at the beginning of the raid, they're just kind of chain pulling. Earlier, and actually we'll see if they skip later, but usually you can skip one of these groups. So starting on the far one does kind of open you up for the way that they moved in to open on the scout a little bit cleaner, but not really. It doesn't really change much. So we'll see what they skip now. Here, let me log out of this. Ping me on disk. All right. Instantly in. They're basically just chain pulling. Nothing too crazy actually coming out from them right now. And I haven't looked at where now with the 2 added protectors, do we have to kill like this protector, like the ones out of the way? That might be... I don't know what the point is. Let's see. They killed 1 protector so far, and there's 1, 2, 3 in here, so then they have to kill this other protector. I don't know why that rule was added, but I'm sure it was for a good reason. Heels on my server, still working on all the boss and progressing. Hope they don't screw us. I think... In all honesty, I don't think we have very long before they nerf. I don't think we have very long before they nerf the game. It's just like a standard thing that Blizzard loves to do right now, is nerf things right away. Or just like push out the next level of content without saying anything, right? That's like the idea is Blizzard announced Sunwell, or the end of the phase, after 2 days after NA guilds could have run already their last run. 2 days after. Composition wise though, Noobs is running 2 mages and 3 or 4 warlocks, all the warlocks in one group. Of course, they do have an infliction lock. Infliction locks are just almost as strong, like they're really strong on overall. Obviously they're gimped in single target, but it does help when you're dropping a healer and these raids still have that Sunwell Radiance hidden debuff where tanks just get clapped. So that'll probably be nerfed out when they do the nerf. When they did that with Vash and Kill nerfs, they actually listened and pushed the date back because they learned something. Well, hopefully, yeah, I don't know. Oh, I am blocking the raid frames. You are right. Here, let me move. Where do I have this webcam? Let's move right there. Or move me even smaller into my little corner. There. Now I'm down here in this little corner, guys. Good call. Good call. EMP Drillman, welcome to the stream. Here, all of it. It's interesting to see, like, Sunwell is pretty linear as a raid. It is actually extremely linear as a raid, right? You can't really like go in any different paths, especially with like the kill requirements, which is interesting because on the race to world first, it's always like this on races to world first. You pretty much can skip everything on race to world first. Like that's the whole job, is just to kill the last boss. And yeah, they did learn a million dad guilds did die because KT and Vash nerf. Or they waited for those nerfs. In a speedrun like this, I would assume they're not going to reset the boss. You usually reset the boss so you can get in good positioning. But yeah, when you're actually running quickly, there's literally no point in resetting the boss. Just fight him or meet him right where these are. Gosh, I'm literally stuttering so much. Meet him basically right where the entrance of the room is. Get an MD, and it's the closest distance for people to start DPSing instead of repositioning them anywhere over here. That would just cause more movement, which is always bad, obviously. For every dad guild that dies this phase, 20 more will be born when Wrath comes out. Every guild will be coming out when Wrath comes out. They've got Shadow Priests in here and Warlocks. Also, probably Survival Hunter. Oh no, they already have their whole Warrior group. So, Warrior group went in first. Their Pumper group with the 2 main Hunters. And then Warlock group went in. And literally, I should probably have slowed this down. But they collapse this boss so fast that you're not really waiting. Like the very first time the Warlocks go in, they're coming out and the boss is dying. And they're not waiting here. They just enrage the boss up top. It's really not that scary, especially if you can cycle some CDs to, excuse me, enrage the boss up top, as long as you kill the one down below. As long as like the raid isn't going to die from arcane explosions. And they're also sending forward, I would assume, a mage or a rogue. Yeah, they've got a mage going forward ASAP to start the RP, so that Brutalis is already going to be engaged at least a lot faster. Link this VOD doesn't show me on Warcraft vlogs. Yes. They do have Spectral Tigers. You get Spectral Tigers from the Blizzard or the NetEase mount or NetEase like store. Blizzard doesn't run World of Warcraft there. It's NetEase in China. And here everyone can just be like tapping and drink walking. You can move. There's a couple of different positions you can get in to not get knocked back. There's a spot right here where you can run forward and you'll get blown right this way. Or you can get into this position right here and just wait where the little knockback happens. You don't move at all, and then you can jump forward. We'll see it in a second. What do you think about locks first on Kalik to put curses? I think that's amazing. I think that's absolutely amazing. If the lock group can go in first, they get the curses, and then you can send in your pumper group, especially if you have 2 hunters in the pumper group, then they can come down and they can finish the boss super fast. And the curses will have remained up top while those hunters are pumping up top, which also means, I'm going to put this at a slower time, which also means the boss up top would have probably died at a more equal time. So I think that's like, I think that's the best play. Infernal! Little Infernal, cheeky. And then Skull of Gul'dan. There were people that were leaving the raid and like queuing arena and then coming back into the raid so that they have Bloodlust back off of cooldown for swaps. It does not look like Noobs is utilizing that, and that should have been banned today by Warcraft Vlogs Discord. Super cheesy thing to do. Super cheesy thing to do. Can you send both the physical and warlock groups in the first portal? You can. It's really good to get like some healers, and if you have like a tank that's going to come back up and then finish tanking up top, send them down in the very beginning. Cheesy things in speedruns, dude. There's cheesy things in every run, you're right. Interestingly enough, it doesn't look like, maybe just not yet. They're not, okay, here we go. So they're actually still using like a full 180 tank strategy instead of a 90-degree tank strategy, which I think is a way easier strategy for this boss. And it leaves so much more room for people to stand with the fires or for melee. And also you actually technically move further to get into this position than moving right here. So I think they'll probably change this because it is a slight DPS loss having to move a little bit further doing that, right? Yeah, because then they would meet the boss and start DPSing a little bit earlier instead of saying mounted like they did. So 180 tank strategy, I would highly suggest most guilds move to a 90 degrees tank strategy, where this group right here, the warlock group, is actually right where you can see this like rogue group or warrior group right here. And then the melee have all of this back area, as well as they also have all of this room for the fires. DPS wise, we got a hunter at 2.9k. They've got rogue at 2.7k, another hunter at 2.6. So nothing too insane right now. But you also don't have any Bloodlust. Bloodlust should be back up for Kalecgos. They will be. One Bloodlust is ready right now, and they might send it. We'll see. But they should be back up for Kalec or Felmist. We'll find out right now. And nope, it looks like they're saving it. If they're saving it like this, send it in that hunter group at the opening of this next fight. Although they might, I don't know what the exact RP downtime is here. Let's see. It was at about 1 minute. Buff the pet, break the pet, and re-enslave the pet. Juice. Oh no, they're just going to kill it. All right. Get ripped. Also, you can see the giant Tauren. I love that. I love that, dude. Utilizing those, the Tauren and the like the engineering teleporters for melee, it can add up to so much damage overall. It really can. Oh, pet would, yeah, pet would get murdered. They literally, also, this is something I don't know why other guilds aren't doing as well, is meeting Kalecgos right as it spawns. Or Felmist. Right as it spawns. You can already be ready, in position. Like, how long does it take for you to wait for it, right? Meet it right as it spawns. You don't need to wait for it to, like, fly around too much. You can get an MD out, get your massive spells. Everyone's kind of spread in, like, a loose spread already. The first person that just got targeted, I think, was a mage, so they just insta-blocked it. We'll go back to normal speed. They did send actually 1, 2, 3, 4 lusts. They sent 4 lusts on this first phase, only bringing the boss actually down to about 53-ish% right now, 52 right now. In an ideal world, you're gonna actually get this boss down in just one air phase. That's gonna save a ton of time because the air phases just take basically forever. So their DPS is around 3k, 2.9k, 2.7. It's nothing insane. I'm assuming the warlocks didn't have very good luck on crits, realistically, right? In those earlier phases. The damage, definitely nothing insane, but they do have the boss down to 46%. So they definitely can get it down. especially lusting probably the warlocks and that hunter group with one warrior. If I were them, I'd swap in either the other hunter or even the other warrior, or the rogue. We'll see how the swaps go. We'll move it to like very chill timings. Also, interestingly enough, the way they fight him, usually the boss on the first time he lands on that far side, but I guess if you initially pull the boss, it'll land over here. I didn't even pay attention to that. I didn't notice that. So let's see when the bloodlusts go out. One bloodlust went out. Let me wait for it. All right. More speed. I couldn't even see the names of the swaps. I'm not 100% sure who got the lust. And then the second one should be on the warlock group. We'll see. Have they had a death yet? No deaths yet that I've seen. Although they might like choose to do a DI here on the encapsulate, right? Nope, they move away from it. They actually move away from it like gamers. They actually just move away from it and don't die. What a world. Also, something that is really nice, they have their melee spread out that like I think a lot of guilds aren't doing yet, including us. Their melee spread out on both sides of the boss a little bit so that they can also eat the MDs if there's one MD that can hit all of the melee, but also when an encapsulate happens in the melee, they can all move and keep DPS in the boss. They literally get the boss to, oh my god, is this literally 0%? Oh, they are so close. They are so close. 1% it goes up. Look at how much time is added because they didn't have this. They saved one bloodlust. No way. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. They didn't save one bloodlust. This is just probably bugging. There's probably a shaman in like group 6 or group 7 or 8 or whatever just for their swaps. Yeah. So let's look at how much time is cost here, right? I'll check it in a sec, chill step. We'll check it while we're at Muru. All right, I'm gonna do this. We're looking at 23.32. 23.32. On Horde Raid, it happened to script at 1%. Maybe it might be. I don't know. I haven't looked to see if there's any logs 100% of it staying down. We can look though. That's 1 minute already added to the timer. But if so, bloodlusting this boss seems just like maybe you then would have to save your bloodlust for trash because it wouldn't really save any time on this boss necessarily. But then would you have your bloodlust back up for twins? Who knows? Let's see. Boss lands and dies. Almost 2 whole minutes. All right, wait, let's see. What's Jordy's strat?
What, synchro?
I'm just gonna keep bumping Muru, I think. I don't think they need my damage. I want to pump Muru.
Are they gonna die?
Sapper, kill these boys.
Darkness is ending. Darkness is ending? Alright, I'm gonna use my second rapid fire.
Oh, that's it. Yeah. Oh, it's just a joke. He tunneled. Yeah, I would always tunnel boss. Always tunnel boss as a hunter. Unless you're the survival, unless like it's cold that you need to help, all hunters in any sort of fast raid should just tunnel boss now. Yeah. I'm gonna see if I can pull up a log really fast to see if I can see if anyone one phases this. Yeah, it's the right move. It's fully the right move. Yeah. Yeah, you just want to bring Muru down fast. Hunters do significantly less damage than a lot of other classes to targets without debuffs. Hunters are very, very debuff reliant. Very, very heavily debuff reliant. So if you are switching to other targets, it can help your raid kill it, but it's mega griefing your DPS, and it should overall actually be griefing your raid's damage as well, especially on the boss itself, right? So it should actually be more of a hindrance, I would say, than helping. Although if you are struggling and you can't kill the sentinels on time, with 4 warlocks, you should absolutely be able to, and just put like your boomkin to help. If you have a boomkin or a shadow priest to help, you know, because then he'll get some debuffs up for the warlocks. Yeah. Here, there's nothing crazy going on, just chain pulling again. Let's look at highest DPS for Thelmus. The Warlock doing 2k DPS. Nope. Yeah, you can. Look at everybody got 100 parts basically. 3-minute Thelmus. So you can one air phase Thelmus. They just were barely missed it, which cost them 2 minutes. Think about that. That's crazy. Barely missing the DPS check by 1% cost them 2 minutes of this 50-minute run. That is a huge time loss. Huge time loss. Yeah. And they were so close. Need to get her dead before. Yeah, once she starts it's once the animation starts at all, then it's too late, right? Once that animation starts, it's too late. Then she's phased. They don't have unlimited lockouts, but they will be able to do it more. Yes. Yeah. Twins. If I was the hunter on this fight, I would have jumped down, tonked my pet, jumped down, summoned my pet, and then started DPSing. They do have Bloodlust come back, so now they can pump all Bloodlust, and they're going to have one more for the second phase, which I think they're going to use. I don't think it takes 10 minutes, though, to get to Muru. They might save this last Bloodlust. Let's see if they get it. Notoriously, towards the end of the phase, they will have access to more characters generally than they have, if that makes sense. Not just noobs. It's like it's a thing on the Chinese realms to sometimes use other characters, rent characters. Basically, sometimes you can rent entire raids. Actually, who was it? Old School rented 2 raids out on the last week of Black Temple to try to beat noobs. I think they rented out 2 whole raid groups. So really clean kills here. Really, really clean kills from noobs. They're pumping everything down. Focus targeting there. It's honestly just a super smooth raid. Nothing has gone wrong. I don't think I've noticed one death, and we'll look at the logs. Paladin pulled this already, and they seed it down and kill it. That's another thing that, like, I really like when guilds do it for speed purposes, is have the Paladin run forward, pick up all of those ads, and then hold it, and then seed those down. Let's look at overall deaths. So they do have deaths. Oh, and that's mostly hasn't happened yet, really. So maybe I'm predicting. So they did have one death really early, and now they're gonna have some death on some trash, and then there's gonna be deaths on Muru. How went the Bruns? I'm not sure, Falcon, but happy birthday, Falcon. Guys, happy birthday to Falcon. Everybody, he finally did it. He's finally of legal age. How is the runs? I literally was in Black Temple forever. And we're watching Noobs now. Noobs really, really pumped. They're at 50 minutes already. Noobs is going to be down to, I would guess, the final times are going to definitely be down towards like 45 minutes before we get like, before we get the nerfs. 44 before the nerfs? You think so? Yo, Kenty, welcome to the stream, man. He can finally drive. He made it. He can almost rent a car. Make sure that they have all of their weak auras ready. Bing, bing, bing. Oh, do I have it on normal speed? Yeah, I do. Cool. The craziest thing about, like, Sunwell's not nearly as speedrun friendly as Black Temple, which I think also will lend itself to not being nearly as hype as Black Temple. Because Black Temple, you would have crazy pulls, right? Sunwell reminds me again of like SSC or TK, where currently you're kind of pulling everything in succession. You're not like doing a crazy big pull. You're not doing 4 different paladin pulls. You're not pulling some things to the side and then skipping it and then bringing it into a boss room. At least not yet. Keon said it was 44 as possible. Yeah, I think that would actually be... I think it would be doable. They only have 1 lust ready here. And I'm assuming... Okay, they sent it already. They sent it right away. So they're not going to use a lust on... They're not going to use a lust on Entropius. They shouldn't have lust for Entropius. We'll see. I don't think they'll have lust for Entropius, which means they will have lust right away for KJ or whenever they need them on KJ. We'll see actually when they get their lusts back. They might get them back. Check DMs. All right. Wait, no way. No, that's still in fucking Arizona. The 202. Are you actually coming to LA? China's been dominating every time right now. China's been absolutely dominating TBC, like later phases. Absolutely. Wait, what did he click in his spellbook? Do we go back? What was the call? One thing for guilds that are struggling on Muru, there's 2 things really. One is you really want to get the boss down as low as possible on the first phase, on the first, like, before the first darkness. So sometimes you might even not want to seed at all almost until the void spawn is up. And then Warlocks insta swap to your void spawns. But right now, look, there's no melee, nothing for melee to attack. Melee are just standing around right now because they already seeded a little bit early onto the humanoid mobs. Don't worry about those at all. Don't. Oh, enslaved demon. Oh my God. He didn't get his demon. Oh, maybe he did. Maybe that's it. We'll see. No, that's not. All right. Savage, dude. There's the enslave. Yig's wife is exactly like what your wife sent me. Well, when you come to LA, we'll all get together. We'll all get together. Yeah. Yeah, speed kills. The thing about speed kills, I hated the cheese meta of speed kills, but in all honesty, like Black Temple was peak speedrunning for this expansion because of it's really a friendly to speedrunning. Nax early phase in Wrath of Lich King, low key is gonna be kind of hype because speedrunning is gonna be back with all of this new meta with the new classes and stuff where you can do these crazy huge pulls, skip pulls, you know, paladin bubble pulls. Which route are you gonna go on? All of it. Nax will be really, really exciting. All right, so they still have 1 minute on Bloodlust, so they're not gonna get Bloodlust up for Entropius. They're going to use all of their CDs and blow up the boss. This phase, it is a soft and rage DPS race, but if your guild gets used to it, it's nothing scary. As long as you move away from these black holes, he's almost going to run right into it. Oh, no, 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 no. Oh, that was unfortunate. Unfortunate, brothers. Wipe it up. Go again. As long as you run away from the black hole and your tank is good at moving them so that like melee don't have like ridiculous downtime of being able to DPS. Like, look at that. Like, that looks like a rogue, or maybe there was one of the warriors and the shadow priest can't even pump. And then a nice easy Murmoss and the chest. Oh, what a drop. What a drop. Kill your little guys and let's move forward. A couple deaths, nothing too scary. They don't get knocked back. Isn't there less trash in Wrath Naps? It's pretty similar. It just falls over. And I mean, Black Temple trash fell over. So that actually adds to a fun aspect of how big can you pull instead of consistently having to pull steadily forward the same way, right? Instead of having to pull steadily forward, pull the next thing, and just chain pull slightly faster as a speedrun strat. We might see some really cool, interesting things happen in Sunwell. Nothing really has been innovated just yet. I would expect the Chinese guilds are really good with innovation, so they might throw in some things. Other guilds that are really good would be like Space Force comes up with some really cool ideas really early usually. So it'd be cool to see if Space Force starts running some runs faster in the next couple weeks, because we really don't have that much time. ICC speedruns will be really fun, and then we're gonna have the ship, which will be like the most giga sleeper. You know? Then we'll have the ship. All right, everyone get your buffs up, know your position, and get ready to slay. It looks like they got Shadow Necks rolling too. A little bit. Like, Noobs is really good at always having all buffs, like neck buffs, as well as like the resistance necks. They utilize those pretty well. One thing that I think we're gonna see most people move to, if they didn't use them in this raid, Swiftness of Zanza. This is a long raid where you're moving forward often. Utilizing a Swiftness of Zanza early into a flask for first boss, and through Kelikos into another Swiftness of Zanza, into another flask. Yeah. You want to eat my fart? Yo, fart face. Thanks, man. Appreciate it. I don't think that would be necessarily that chill, but you know, everyone's got their thing. There will be a cheese on the ship. Yeah, you can speed it up by jumping at the right time. We'll definitely figure out the most cheesy ways. Obviously, we don't know how Blizzard scripting is going to be. That is always like kind of a not a meme, but like it's something that's really important. And if anyone doesn't know, by the way, on Kill Jaden, you see where these mobs are tanked? While he's doing his shadow spikes, he doesn't do his like knockback ability. So you can actually go directly on top of his ID, like directly on top of the character model, and tank these mobs so that any seeds from Warlocks directly on the boss or directly on these ads, so that it hits the boss and adds extra damage, which is like the ideal. They all hit each other and you don't get like knocked back while he's doing his shadow spikes. Any way to speed up this boss really is just utilizing the dragons as well as you can. You can always get this first breath off on the entire raid. You can always get this first breath on the entire raid and then spread out. If the dragon's in the far position, you can double blink without CD to get the first breath off. And then whenever you see the dragon coming towards your raid group or your raid spot, just group up. I don't know. There's so much like awareness issues, I would say, in this fight that I think really will help people do more damage. It's just grouping up at the right time. It'll help everyone. And then after that first shield, you want to always wait, because you'll get a full dragon buff. Both dragon breaths will go out after the first shield every time. And then you can see they're usually going in and be like heading towards like the lock groups or headed towards some of the melee groups, and the melee will stack super hard for those. And then once the ads are up again, you're just going to get your debuffs up or just start cursing them insta. Giga curse them or seed them down. And seeding off the ads, like I mentioned, does hurt the boss. It's always good on every boss encounter. Generally, general rule of thumb is to seed off of ads so that they hit the boss. If you group up early for this destruction, you actually can group up early to get a full breath on the entire raid like we saw again. And they actually just pushed it. So you can get a early breath if you push the phase, and you can have your second person that's going to pick up the second dragon go pick up the new dragon. The first dragon will despawn soon no matter what, but if you don't, the person in the dragon, the original one, will have to click off the dragon buff or click off of like the vehicle or whatever, or else they'll be stuck in it and won't be able to pick up the ads sometimes. But they're already down at 45%, right? And now they're at 45% before they're gonna be able to even get so this dragon stayed in the dragon, and he wasn't even the person picking up the ads anyways, because they're at 45% with 2 dragons down. And he just got, the dragon did get murdered right there. Murked. Probably lust. Yeah, there's heroisms. Once you have, after the 55%, once you get your dragon buffs is when you want to lust. You should not ideally lust before then, because having lust stacked with all of your big old dragon boofs is huge. And then again, wait for the breaths for a split second and then get out. He kind of got out a second early, but he has 100% mana. So he didn't need the other one. He just needed the haste buff. And we've got a fucking Vini Vici. The rogue is doing 3.4k DPS right now. 3.4k DPS from the rogue pumper on this fight. Once these mobs die, they're gonna start getting 2 dragon orbs, right? And this dragon's still alive because they're pushing it so fast, right? So this dragon is still alive. They're gonna start getting multiple dragons, right? There wasn't a point to that shield, really, just so that the tank took a little bit less damage. But I think it actually slowed down the kill of those mobs, because all of the melee in there got 95% reduced damage. And now you just get 2 dragons and start breathing on the raid. Start grouping up. Ideally, you could do 1 person shield and 1 person breathes the whole raid, or you can do double shields in case like people are in different positions, so you can stay a little bit more spread out and just start pumping. Noobs is really good at min-maxing this fight. Really clean, and they do the double dragon shield strat, so there's actually a little bit less of mobility needed from the raid. The raid doesn't need to move as much, which actually should be a DPS increase. And a little sun flare rewarded with it. Boom! 50 minutes, 31 seconds. Noobs pulls it off again. Look at this kill Jaden DPS. Look at this kill Jaden DPS. Blasting. But the eye level parse is 94 because this rogue is so geared. 150 eye level. That's the highest eye level like ever. This is like full bis. That is so high. He just needs a new helm. Look at his gear. That's insane. Either way, guys, grats to Noobs again for this speedrun. I hope we do see a lot of guilds coming out with Sunwell Plateau speedruns. I think it'll be really fun to go in there, and it's a fun raid. It's not as exciting as Black Temple. It's definitely not, right? As exciting as Black Temple in the essence of a speed run. But it's the last raid, and we need to like have as much fun as possible in this raid before we move forward to Wrath of the Lich King, which is what I'm really looking forward to. Also, I'm trying to take as full advantage of Sunwell and also move forward towards Wrath of the Lich King. So my Wrath videos will start coming out very soon. I've been doing a lot of deep dives on the classes, and the Hunter ones are almost, I haven't recorded the videos, but I have like 8 pages of like min-max class guide for it.